stewardship. Like, you went to school for theater. This shouldn't be an issue, right? Yeah, it's not. I did go to school for theater. Talking in front of people and reciting words that someone else writes is not an issue. Donna, my concentration is in acting, not playwriting. This is not my fault, but let's do it. So regardless, clearly didn't stop Donna from calling me. Out of everything. And of course I'm like, yeah, that's cool, I can speak, but can you give me a little bit more to work with? Just stewardship and God is a very vague topic. Word of advice, Donna, suggesting a trip to Europe that I had to wait 2 years for, probably not the best suggestion. But here people were grammatically correct when I wrote, there I was at 10 p.m. last night trying to figure out what in the world to talk about. And thank you, Donna Corey. The only thing that comes to mind is my trip to Europe. And as I'm writing, I'm trying to think about everything that happened over the course of those 3 weeks and how does it relate to stewardship or God. And aside from going to church at Westminster Abbey on my free Sunday, it doesn't. The places where God comes into play in this whole thing is the 2 years that I had to wait for this trip. That was originally supposed to run in 2020. We all know why that didn't happen. And in those 2 years, I worked full-time as both a locksmith and selling cosmetics online. Because go figure, I have 2 jobs and both of them were essential, so I didn't get the 2-month break that everyone else got. And then I took a semester off of school because, well, screw virtual learning, it's not me. Wasn't doing it. Graduated from college a year later than originally planned because of that. And along the way, I made friends with people who I wouldn't have met if all of this didn't happen. I went on to experience some new adventures and challenges that I wouldn't have if I didn't meet those same friends. I should memorize this. This is what happens when you write at 11 o'clock at night. And over the course of those 2 years and all those new challenges with new people, I realized how not ready I was for Europe back in 2020. I learned I love new adventures, more so than I thought 2 years ago. I love just being able to do long weekend trips with my best friend and randomly doing day trips to Philadelphia, because why not? I work virtually on my cell phone and make my own hours. And don't answer to a boss, it's actually great. That being said, I learned that 9 to 5 is definitely not for me. And surprisingly enough, I learned how to carefully plan out everything I wanted to do in London and work it around the school's already set schedule. More importantly, I learned to take that perfectly planned schedule and just throw it into the Thames River. I think we've all heard the saying, man makes plan, God laughs. Yeah, I don't like it either, but hey, it's accurate. Can't do anything about it. What I didn't realize is that in those 2 years, God spent them shaping me into the person who ended up being ready for that trip to Europe. He forced me to learn how to just go with the flow and accept challenges as they come. Because believe me, I did not fall short of them on that trip. The Christine we all knew 2 years ago would have just honed in on those challenges and let them control every aspect of that trip, and probably have taken the joy out of it. I mean, hey, I had to sit on the aisle floor of a train for 4 hours, a 5.5-hour train ride to Scotland, but at least I got to see Big Ben in the Globe Theatre. They're real. They're not just pictures in a magazine that you see on the internet or in the background of a news broadcast of the Queen's funeral. It was actually really exciting. But so I know at this point I'm supposed to try to loop everything back to St. Mike's and stewardship, but I'm not. Because God isn't this church. God's not even the people in this church. Yeah, I know, unpopular opinion, but I said it. relationships that we form with the people at this church and out of this church. He was in all the smiles I saw every time I told someone I have a second chance at this study abroad opportunity that I thought might not come around again. He was in all the prayers for safe travels and all of the how was it the second I got off the plane, because believe me, that phone blew up at 3 p.m. on August 14th when I got off that plane. He was in the card that I got saying, congrats on getting the diploma. Here is $50 to start paying off those loans. I would like to know what type of loans you all took out when you were in college. $50 doesn't get you that far anymore. It was in the person who decided to pay my dad for my prom dress because she felt bad I couldn't shop out of her closet anymore. God was in the relationship that was formed between 8 rowdy American theater students stuck in a single hostel room in Scotland. And Eli had a wooden broadsword and way too much energy in the morning for people without coffee in their system. It's a good thing it was made of wood, all I'm gonna